So welcome to this discussion. I want to congratulate you for making it to term 4. This happens to be our final term, and I really congratulate you for the journey SAS covered. So I also congratulate you upon your marks. I believe that we received our marks for category B tests as well as oral exams. So please, whatever happened. I want you to accept whatever happened and understand that you still have room to improve, because category A we are left with 70%, which has not been awarded. So that you only need 50% of the 70%, which basically means that even a student who got 0 still has 70 chances of making it in category A. So please feel at ease. Don't worry. Jesus changed water into wine. Even the zeros can be changed into a 60. In fact, that won't be a miracle, because there is a 70% of happening. So that can't be a miracle. A miracle happens where you don't sit for an exam and you find that you even passed, because that means you had 0% of what? Of passing, but then that's when you can say that the miracle has happened. So I want you to just be at ease and now show up in term 4 with the best version of yourself. So having said that, of course, we are back as Pass the Bar team, ready and eager to take you through the final journey of your LDC. So please, this is the first discussion, and we shall also be giving you the updates for all the discussions that are yet to come. So please subscribe, like, share, and comment, so as you don't miss any updates of the videos we shall be posting. And in case you have your sister or your brother or your friend who is worried about the pre-entry exams for LDC, we have brought up a department that will be covering the pre-entry exam discussions to simplify the complicated. So please help us share this video to your friend. Maybe he or she might pick interest. So let us go to the workshop. This is family law practice module, I think 5. Management of estates of missing persons and estates of persons with mental illness. So we shall basically see what happens when a person goes missing and how do we go about that. And if a person goes mad, how do we go about that? Because in recent, we have had many Ugandans running mad. Some have said it's because of stress, but those scenarios have appeared in the recent years. So introduction, this module covers the principles of law and legal practical aspects relating to management of estates of missing persons and management of estates of people with mental illness. So this course really is straightforward. We are dealing with properties of people who go missing, and also properties of people who become of unsound mind. So I think that one is clear and straightforward. So there is an increasing number of cases of people with mental illness in Uganda. It is also a fact that there are very many formal and informal reports of people who have gone missing and whose whereabouts are known. This module will only enhance your knowledge of the relevant, but also equip you with skills to safeguard the rights of people with mental illness as well as their estates. Similarly, you will be able to learn skills of protecting estates of missing persons. So remember where we started from family law, right away when we started with types of marriages, how do you lodge a caveat on marriages, how do you divorce a marriage, what are the rights of children, what happens when one of the parties dies. That's why we look at successions, tested successions and intested successions. Then now finally we are going into missing and people of mental illness. This is something we not cover at our undergraduate, but it's something very really straightforward. So scope of this week's work, they don't know who a missing person is. So we basically have the Estates of the Missing Persons Management Act Cap 265, which covers the estate of the missing person. Then management of the affairs of the missing person. We shall look at how do you manage the affairs of the missing person. We shall look at the application and procedure for appointing a manager of the estate of a missing person, the duties of a manager of the estate of a missing person, circumstances in which a missing person is presumed dead, and the principles of law on management of the estate of a missing person who is presumed dead, presumption, prosecution of a petition for appointment of a manager of the estate of a missing persons, relevant legal documents, extracting the relevant court orders, enforcement of the relevant court orders, and ESCO issues relating to obtaining an order appointing a management of the estate of the missing person. So the estate of the missing person is not a very big act. I think it has like 25 sections. So please read it from cover to cover, because you don't have much things to read. You don't have an assessed mode, neither do you have category B. So please make it a point that you read the Missing Persons Management Act Cap 265 from cover to cover, because all these principles are addressed by the act, because we don't have a lot of case law as far as this field is concerned. But however, we have some. I think we have that case of Mohani Chwanuka, where the son had petitioned the court that their father should be declared of person of unsound mind. So we have that locus classicus case, and I think it made a lot of noise in 2019 in the media. So it's you can download that case on Yuli and then get to read it. Management of the estate of the person with mental illness. This one is covered by the Mental Health Act Cap Series 08. So for it, it's a bit broad. I think it has 76 provisions, but still you can also read it from cover to cover, because once you read these two acts, they are the ones which applied as far as this area is concerned. Then I can promise you one thing, that you cannot fail to pass the IA. So we shall look at the meaning of the mental illness as defined by the Act, the principles of the law governing the management of the affairs of a person with mental illness, care, safety, security, protection, and medical treatment for a person with a mental illness, rights of a person with a mental illness, the procedure for declaring an individual a person with a mental illness, and the circumstances in which a person will be appointed as the personal representative of person with mental illness, power duties of the personal representative of person with mental illness, application for an order appointing a personal representative of a person with mental illness, constitution of an application for appointment of a personal representative of the estate of the person with mental illness, relevant legal documents, extracting the relevant court orders, and enforcement of the relevant court orders, as well as ESCO issues relating to obtaining an order appointing a personal representative of the estate. So basically, this one is also covered by the Mental Health Act Cap Series 08. If you can read it, then all these principles are covered by the Act. So aims of this module, the aim of this module is to develop ability to advise on the managing of the affairs of a missing person, develop ability to advise on managing affairs of a person with mental illness, develop ability to obtain an order appointing a manager of the estate of a missing person, develop ability to obtain an order appointing a person representative of the estate of a person with mental illness, and recognize the ESCO consideration relating to obtaining an order appointing a manager of the estate of a missing person and a person representative of the estate of a person with mental illness. So basically, that's what shall be basically covering. If, for example, a person is missing, how do you apply to be appointed as the manager of the estate of that missing person? Or if the person has been adjudged and sound mind, how do you apply to get be appointed as the personal representative of that person? Basically, that's what this workshop entails, as simple as that. So Karen Simbi's interview statement. My name is Karen Simbi. This is my stepmother, Catherine Akeron Simbi. I'm 46 years old. I live at Nsumbe Mukono district. I'm a consulting pediatrician. My father, Mark Simbi, is in great danger. He's 75 years old. Initially had problems of forgetfulness, confusion, depression, apathy, and withdrawal. That was 1 year ago. His condition is now very bad. I have learned from the people who attend to him that he now suffers from severe memory loss, forgets to have his meals, forgets to bathe and zip his trousers. My stepbrother Conrad Nsimbi took away our father from his home in January 2025. Conrad does not allow any other relative or person to access our father. Our father has two wives, Maria Teresa Nsimbi and Catherine Akeron Nsimbi, his first wife, Maria Teresa Nsimbi, abandoned him over 5 years ago. So my stepmother, Catherine Akeron Nsimbi, gave birth to John Nsimbi and Elizabeth Murungi Nsimbi, who are both below the age of 18. My stepmother, Maria Teresa Nsimbi, gave birth to Conrad Waswa Nsimbi and Kato Nsimbi, now aged 35. My mother died. My father's property is as follows. The government of Uganda owes my father 450 million Uganda shillings for goods which he supplied to the Ministry of Defense. My father owns the foreign property, land at Ntinda, land known as Chagwe Block 244, land known as Chabongo, Vuma, land at Mbari in Ruero, and my father owns 80 shares in MC Nsimbi Coffee Processing Factory, and my paternal uncle Nassan Nsimbi owns shares each in this company. So Conrad had the land at Mbare Ruero, which is known as Bukarasa Block 164 plot 26, subdivided into 20 plots measuring 1 acre each, and he registered each in his name. He sold each of these plots at 80 million Uganda shillings each. Strange people inspect the land at Ntinda. I want to see my father and ensure that he is properly cared for. My stepmother, Catherine Akeron Nsimbi, has always looked after our father very well, and she's ready and willing to look after him. I want our father to return her so that we can all be able to look after him and visit him. So basically, you can see the scenario we have here is that this Mark Nsimbi is being adjudged of unsound mind, or what we can call mental illness, and then what happens is the son, Conrad Nsimbi, seems to have abducted the dad, but then is disposing of property. And that's basically what happens. These sons who don't want to work, after seeing their father is now old, they tend to go and apply to court that their father is mentally ill, so as they can now begin to manage the estate of the family. And I think that was what happened in the Mohan Chuanka case, where also the son had applied, but of course they objected and the court declined. So it's the same facts that we can see really are coming out from these very facts. So interview statement of Catherine Akeron Nsimbi. I'm Catherine Akeron Nsimbi. I'm 50 years old. I live at Lunguja, Kampala City. Married to Mark Nsimbi. He married me in accordance with the rights of antecedent. At the sort, he paid all the bride price which my parents asked for. My husband and I have 2 children, namely John Nsimbi and Elizabeth Murungi Nsimbi, aged 17 and 16 respectively. In January 2025, my stepson Conrad Nsimbi picked my husband on the pretext that he was taking him for a medical examination. My husband has not returned home since that day. Before January 2025, I used to take my husband to hospital and look after him. At first, he had problems of forgetfulness and withdrawal, but his condition is now very bad. I have learned from the people who attend to him that he now suffers from severe memory loss, forgets to have his meals, and he also forgets to bathe. My children miss him. I would like to look after him in our home at Lunguja, Kampala City, where all his children and I can access him. I'm anxious about his safety and health. Whatever Karen has told you about his property is true. Conrad came home one night with armed men and he took away the certificate of title to the land at the Bari, Ruero district. The other certificates of title are safe because they failed to find them. I subsequently entrusted them with Caroline. I live in deep fear. I also fear for my husband's safety. So you can see these are the lamentations of the wife, who also is deeply aggrieved by the missing husband. So you can see the urgently needs a solution. So I newly appointed legal assistant in MC Birungi and Company Advocates, Birungi Prada, Plot 12 to Kampala Road, Kampala City. Mr. Birungi allowed you to interview his clients, Caroline Nsimbi and Catherine Akeron Nsimbi. You recorded their interview statement, photocopies of which are shown above. Mr. Birungi has asked you to advise him on the following. A. All the steps which Catherine Akeron Nsimbi should take in order to ensure the safety, security, and proper care for the person of Mark Nsimbi as well as his affairs. So basically here we shall be looking at first and foremost, the wife has to apply to be appointed as the administrator, as the legal representative of the person with mental illness. But However, there are some questions that have to be answered. One is whether Dr. Mark Nsimbi is a person with mental illness and what are his rights. So basically here when we are looking at whether he's a person of mental illness, we shall be guided by the definition under the Act. So we can see the definition is under Section 2 of the Health Act Cap 008, Cap 008, which defines mental illness, meaning a diagnosis of a mental health condition in terms of accepted diagnosis criteria made by a mental health practitioner. So we have a medical report from Coral International Hospital, which stated that this person was suffering with stage 4 stage 4 dementia. So we shall rely on that report to conclude that this is a person of mental illness. Then also we shall address the issue of whether Ms. Catherine Akero Nsimbi has locus to apply to manage his estate. And we shall be guided by Section 59 of the Mental Illness Act Cap 008, which basically states that any relative can apply. And from the facts we can see Catherine Akelo is a wife, which gives her locus to apply. Then the remedies and steps follow. We shall basically look at first and foremost gathering all the evidence, obtaining a medical report, then applying to court so as Catherine can be appointed as the personal representative of the estate. Then after being appointed as the personal representative of the estate, then you can also proceed to lodge caveats in all the land so as you can restrict all further dealings. But also you can proceed and sue to recover the land which the son has already sold, transferred fraudulently. And then after that, we can apply to be appointed as a personal representative. Under Section 61, we can see that you can apply to be appointed as a personal representative of the estate of the person with mental illness. So this person now has the power to deal with the estate as if you were the owner of the estate, but of course it must be in the best interest of the estate. What further information would you expect? Of course, we talked about the medical reports, the proof of marriage, the birth certificates, the ownership documents of all properties, those are the certificate of titles which are being stored, and also evidence of Conrad's action, those fraudulent transactions. What's the farm procedure necessary documents? We shall be looking at, of course, the notice of motion and the affidavit in support. I believe that we are now masters as far as drafting notice of motion and affidavit in support is concerned, having been asked to draft notice of motion already in our oral exams. So we are drafting a notice of motion, and the prayers, of course, it's brought under specifically sections 59, 61, and 62 of the Mental Health Act Cap 008, and the prayers are that, of course, this person be appointed as a personal representative or guardian of the respondent. The grounds which we shall be relying on, that the applicant is the wife of the respondent, that the respondent was diagnosed with the stage 4 dementia. These grounds will further be supported or expounded on in the affidavit, which will be shown by the applicant. So here the documents we have is the notice of motion and the affidavit in support. So from there we looked at the next issue, outlining the legal arguments which would be the basis of your action in C above. So when looking in C above, we want the person to be appointed as the legal representative of the estate of the person with mental illness. So basically we shall be substantiating on two issues. One, whether Mark Nsimbi is a person with mental illness, and two, whether Miss Caroline has locus to apply to be appointed as a personal representative of Mark Nsimbi's estate. So if all those two questions are answered in the affirmative, then that basically means that court will give us an order that this person can be appointed as a personal representative of Mark Nsimbi, and costs, of course, we shall also pray that costs be provided for the application. ESCO issues. We have been seeing ESCO issues from the time we started in term 1. I hope those are some of the things that can now flow. We shall look at the duty of confidentiality, of course, the best interest principle in light of the fact that they are children, privacy and confidentiality, not overcharging clients, among others. So basically, that was workshop 1. Very easy and straightforward things. I would only implore you to read the Act because the Act has most of these principles. You can see we don't have any much case law on our workshop, so it basically means that the law is heavily covered by the Act. So let's go to workshop 2. If you understood workshop 1, then workshop 2 is just a replica of workshop 1. So we have, at the end of this workshop, you should be able to 1, explain the principles of law on managing of estates of a missing persons, draw an application for an order appointing a person, the manager of the estate of a missing person, prosecute an application for an order appointing a person, the manager of the estate of a missing person, organize the ESCO issues related to obtaining an order appointing a manager of the estate of a missing person. So we have, my name is Santa Ayokoru. I live at Lamukero Village, Ala Parish, Dranya Sub-County in Koboko District. I'm 40 years old. I'm a single mother for 5 children. My brother Nathan Adrico has been missing since 2024. He was the owner of Lila Metal Works Limited. He left his home in Lila City on 2024 for Chisenyi in Kampala City to purchase materials for his business. He did not return. I called his cell phone that night, but it was switched off. Nathan also had a country home at Lamakero Village, Ala Parish, Dranya Sub-County in Koboko District. I had announcements cast on all FM radio stations, TV stations, and publications of the same in the print media as well as social media, but I have not heard of him again. I have been living with his children, Sandra Ezati, now aged 18, Proce Avua, now aged 17, and Nerda and Zoa, now aged 14. Nathan's wife died in 2023. Our parents and brothers died when an arsonist set out home ablaze one night. I can no longer fully maintain my nieces because I'm a single mother and I have 5 children of my own. Nathan maintained 2 bank accounts in MS City Finance Bank Lira branch, but the manager of this bank has declined to pay to me any money from this bank account. So Executive Director of Give the Child a Chance Uganda chapter informed me that this organization owes Nathan 100 million Uganda shillings, paying money for doors and windows which she made and supplied to it. This organization is ready and willing to pay this money, but will only pay it if the organization's legal advisor advises it on the proper person to be paid. I have received reliable information from the area local council 1 chairman and several other people that people unknown to them have been inspecting Nathan's land at Semunto in Ruwero district. This land is known as Bukalasa Block 230 Plot 164. I have the certificate of title of this land. This land measures 42 acres. Some strangers have been logging timber in this pine and eucalyptus forests in this land. City Finance Bank Aloha branch has issued a notice of default, and on following up on this matter, I learned that this bank lent Nathan 50 million Uganda shillings and he mortgaged his land, Karasa Block 230 Plot 164, as security for repayment of this loan. The loan has not been serviced since he went missing. Advise Santa Oyokulu on all the steps that she should take in the circumstances in order to protect her brother's estate and also ensure the welfare of his children. So first and foremost here, what we are looking at is that I have to understand that we shall be looking at first and foremost what is the whether this person is a missing person, and the Act defines who exactly is a missing person. When you look at section still We look at section 1, defines the missing person as one who disappears from Uganda without making provisions for the administration of his or her estate, and investigations have shown that his or her whereabouts are not known. So we shall also look at whether Santa Ayokoro is a fit and proper person to manage his estate. We can see section 2.1 of the Estates of Missing Persons Management Act. A relative of the person can apply. From the facts, we can see that this one is a sister. Therefore, this makes him a fit and proper person to apply. Then issue 3, we have steps that he should take in order to protect her brother's estate. So we have interim remedy. The interim remedy is in section 24 of the Estates of Missing Persons Management Act. Appointment of a manager by court pending the grant of the order under the act. So the court can appoint a manager, because we can see there are some interim issues that need to be addressed, because, for example, the bank is almost foreclosing on one of the pieces of the land, yet this person has money in one of the organization. So we have even children who need urgent care. So now the court can now appoint Santa Ayokoro as the interim manager as we wait for the full appointment in a long-term remedy. So the application to manage the estate of this missing person, section 2.1 of the Estates of Missing Persons stipulates that where a person in this act referred to as a missing person disappears without making provisions for the administration of his or her estate or the maintenance of his or her dependent relatives, if any, and is not heard of within 6 months, any relatives of the missing person may use the concurrence of the family of the missing person apply to court to be granted an order to manage his or her estate. So we can see now we can also petition court that will be granted an order to manage the estate. So Santa Ayokoro can petition court now to be managed to manage the estate. So we shall look at what's the foreign procedure necessary documents. Here we look at the petition, which is verified. I believe that we all understand how petitions are drafted. Then from there we looked at what rights are available to Nathan in case he reappears. So if Nathan reappears, basically look at section 19 of the act, provided where the missing person reappears, the court shall, on application made in that behalf by the missing person, make an order vesting the property in the estate. So which basically means that he can now proceed by an application to be reinvested as the manager of his estate, and the documents here, of course, where the act doesn't give us the mode, then you invoke order 52 of the CPR and proceed by notice of motion supported by an affidavit in support. So basically from there we look at the ESCO issues. The ESCO issues as the ones as we always know them: not acting without the client's instructions, confidentiality, not charging exorbitant fees, but also best interest principle of the child, because we have children matters, full disclosure, and also we have duties of the manager of the estate under the act, so they must abide by those duties, not to also they should avoid intermediating with the estate of the missing person. So basically that was it, but we also have a discussion in case you want to join us. We have a monthly subscription fee of 100,000, so you can text me on the number on this bio and you can join, because we have discussions of workshops. We issue give out notes, but also we are discussing all the past papers and compiling. So in case you want to be part of that discussion, then please you can come up and subscribe. Then you can receive all those things, because like the way I have told you, we still have 70% left in category A, and this 70% can build you or they can break you. So please don't take anything for granted. In case you can afford to meet that cost, then it's better that you come up and meet one of your colleagues from all the 4 campuses and be part of us. So Having said that, I'm always anxious to appreciate and lost find fault. And in case I appreciate anything, I'm hearty in my approbation and lavish in my praise. So for those of you who know where that quote comes from, congratulations. But I wish you a blessed week and success in your IAs.